Thanks for checking out a new episode of Bad Advice with Chris Cubis, the show where unqualified people give unsolicited advice. This week I'm joined by comedian and writer Solomon Georgio and returning guest Ralphie Hardesty. We cover a lot of stuff. 2 scary Halloween decorations, accidentally racist co-workers. Give it a listen, it's great. Thanks for checking out a new episode of Bad Advice with Chris Cubis, the show where unqualified people give unsolicited advice. It is a balmy 77 in Austin, Texas. I woke up this morning and I can't move my neck because I went to sleep as a 43-year-old, and that's what happens. Woke up, my neck is fucked. I got afraid that like this is some sort of like a COVID symptom that I'm unaware of, but I don't think that's it. I Googled it pretty hard. But we're going to jump into the show. I've got guests this week that I'm very excited to have. First up, you know him, comic extraordinaire, writer on Shrill, writer on maybe top 3 shows of the last couple of years in High Fidelity. I fucking love it. Solomon Georgio's here. How you doing, beautiful?
Hey, I'm happy to be here, just in my own house.
Happy, yeah. It's so funny how like this thing, you know, the pandemic started and it was like, oh, I can do all the podcasts in the world. It's just Zoom. I don't even have to leave my house. And then people start asking you to do podcasts. You're like, oh, fuck, I got to do this again. So I appreciate you being here. How are you? How's things?
You know, nothing's happening. Nothing's going on. I've been up to absolutely nothing, and I think that's what's going to be the MO for the remainder of the year.
I think I saw you roller skating. Did I see you roller skating on the brand?
Yes. I've gotten into roller skating because it's just one of those things you pick up during terrible traumatic times.
Sure.
Something from your childhood that you're no longer good at.
If you probably can't make them out, but those shelves behind me, those are Legos. So I understand picking up shit from your childhood, my friend. That other laugh you hear, comic extraordinaire, returning guest, you love him, Ralphie Hardesty's here. What's going on, sir?
Hi. Oh yeah, not a lot. Just hanging out, just petting my dogs. I identify real strongly with hurting yourself, doing nothing. I stretched in bed and really hurt my neck recently.
Yeah.
So yeah, solidarity with old necks.
I recently got up too fast, and that took me down for a day.
You're gonna want to warm up before.
That's like the second Moderna shot. You stand up fast. Speaking of, you guys, you guys vaccinated? Where are we at?
I was actually been vaccinated since October. I was part of the clinical trial.
Oh, nice.
I sacrificed my black body for science.
I respect it. Although, so where do you stand? Ralph, we'll get to you in a second. Solomon, where do you stand on black vaccination fear? People talk about that shit. Is it legitimate? Is it actually even a thing at this point?
It's definitely black people should fear science and medicine at all the time.
I hear you.
It is a thing that we should be questioning and doubting. But when it comes to the vaccine, if rich white people are getting it, you are safe.
Yeah. They nailed it. That is exactly what I think. This isn't like the Tuskegee experiment. Yeah. They're giving it to like Ryan Gosling.
If they're fighting for it, then you'll be fine.
Yeah, I saw where rich white people were going into like poorer neighborhoods because they had more of the vaccine. If that shit's happening, sir, take 2. Yes. You're gonna be just good.
Get in there. You want to get it first, and you want to live longer than them.
Ralphie, where are you? Are you getting your shots? Where are we at?
We're 50% in this house. We're actually supposed to be getting our second one like next week. Like
nice.
A week.
There you go.
Yeah.
So get that day off next because it does.
You better recognize I did that shit for sure. I had my second shot, and then like I scheduled a day off, from the day job, like as soon as I knew it was coming. And then like it was pretty bad. I probably could have handled work, but fuck it. I'm in my house. I'm not gonna sit in the other room feeling shitty when my bed's over there. So
luckily I've scheduled my 400th day of doing nothing. So I'm 100% safe.
Well done. Do you guys think now that you're all vaxxed up, comedy starts again? What's your plans? You like
look, I'm not forcing
dip
anything.
Your toe in the water? Yeah.
I've it's at this point like comedy is just something I do when I can.
Amen.
God bless.
And the stage time is nice, but it's not at the level of performing that I love, which is an intimate, closed-in space with
100%.
heavy mouth breathing and close touching.
You can smell every person in the room. It's disgusting. Yeah.
No, that's
Not
why I
eager to
felt.
return.
That's what I felt about Zoom shows the whole time. I was like, I'm not. This doesn't seem like the thing I like about it, which is being too drunk and then talking to two drunk people after the show that may or may not be trying to get you to fuck their wife. You know what I'm saying? Just like one of those weird interactions.
Yeah, well, there's definitely, you know what? It's a better option than laughing to no one laughing to your jokes, and then closing your laptop after your 10-minute set.
Yeah. Solomon, I got to bring this up just because I'm looking at your beautiful hair. You inspired me to dye my hair for the first time in my 43 years on this planet during quarantine. I got overtone. I think that's what it was.
Oh yeah,
I did like a purple. Came out kind of nice. My lovely fiance, who I love very dearly, was like, you should try blonde. And I was like, I don't know that I can pull off. I don't know that I have that. And she looked me in my eyes and said, Solomon Georgio looks great blonde. And I said, man, you can't put that kind of pressure on me. That is an unfair expectation.
Look, you know what? If I can do it, you can do it.
That's not true,
Truly,
yeah.
I know that is a lie. I love to perpetrate.
There's a lot of shit you can do that. Capes. I can't pull off a cape to save my life.
Whoa, no! I think everyone can do a fucking cape. Don't go that route. I'll definitely defend. Everyone can fucking do a cape.
Oh shit! Okay, maybe I gotta get in the capes. Maybe that's the next round of quarantine. Next quarantine when the variants hit. I get in the capes. I love it. So, what is your guys' familiarity level with Dear Abby? I ask all my guests because some people live in a cave, I guess.
I'm aware of it.
You know it as a reference, right?
Yeah, totally. I think, and she's actually like kind of decent and progressive, right? Like, actually gives pretty good advice.
We're into the second, so it's her daughter now. The original Dear Abby is gone. Right. And for the most part, she's pretty. I've never seen anything that she says where I'm like, oh, that's a little sketchy. No, she's usually right on there. Yeah, it's the questions that are going to get weird.
Absolutely,
the questions always get weird. I remember because I was a Sunday paper kind of kid. I was a kid that loved getting all those. First of all, the ads were my favorite thing in the world. Those little. I'd be very excited to be like, what's at sale at Target? And I would,
Did they have Parade? That insert the parade. Okay, I was just making. I wasn't sure because I'm old. I wasn't sure if that was still a thing.
Oh yeah, I was a kid. I was like, let me look through this parade like it matters.
Yeah. And it would always make. I wonder what the guy, the woman, the wife on Everybody Loves Raymond is up to. Like that was a level of like interview.
It's exactly what it was. That was their feature. Like this person. Let's check out what Patricia Heaton is thinking.
There it is. I couldn't remember her name. And now I feel. Also, by the way, nice pull. But also, I feel like she's like right-wing problematic now too.
She is. Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She's always been, and that's the fun part. Good actress though. Amazing actress.
Yeah, I got no problem. She was funny on that show, but I also haven't watched anything since. And also, I don't know if she ever pulled off like a Fisher King dramatic turn. You know what I'm
saying? She was on the show The Middle for a little bit.
Okay.
And she was on a more recent show that I can't think of the name of at the moment. But yeah, I just watch a lot of sitcoms. I'm very.
I did that. I watched I used to watch. I before there was streaming, I used to tape reruns of the Drew Carey show and Seinfeld on like TBS, and then when I'd come home from work at like 2 a.m, there'd be something to watch. So yeah, I know that feeling.
That's impressive because they were running all the time, so you didn't really have to record them.
No, I was committed, man. I was committed. Let's go ahead and jump into a couple of these letters because I've got some. We'll see. Let's go with. We'll start with, I've got a few. Where do I want to start? Let's start with last night. Dear Abby, last night at a restaurant, my husband and I were surprised to see a male server wearing a blonde wig and full makeup. I was, to say the least, shocked and very glad we hadn't brought our children, ages 11 and 14, with us. How do you explain something like that to an 11-year-old? The 14-year-old would be able to, quote unquote, get it. What kind of policies are in place for restaurants in cases like this? What if the customers are offended? Could I request a different server or just leave? Your comments would be appreciated. Signed, Taken Aback in California. We're talking old white lady, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Are we comfortable in saying and assuming?
Lady, bitch, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Huge raging asshole. Taken aback.
Yeah. Also, imagine leaving the restaurant you went. Like, you're gonna storm out of the Chili's or wherever the fuck this is because someone's wearing a wig. Bitch, you just get your chicken wings and shut up.
It's like, first of all, if you like, also explaining it to children, you know what children love? People in makeup and wigs.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's one of their favorite things. They are very drawn to the colors and shit.
And also the real, this is one of those things where I'm like, I bet this person is not just doing wig and makeup for looks. They're doing it because that's who they are, and she's just being a piece of shit in somebody's gender expression. I
agree with that 100%. And also, my only other thought was, what if they just went to that? I can't think of the name of it, but there's like a Chinese restaurant where all the waitresses are waiters in drag. I can't think of the name. It's a famous place. What if they just went to that restaurant by accident? And they're just like, every one of these fucking waiters.
What kind of policy?
Yeah. I would be thrilled. I would just be elated that anyone, because I've been a server I was a server longer than I've done anything in my life. And truly, anyone who puts in any effort to walk into their waiting job should be applauded.
Yeah. Anyone, you put on all that. You did all that work to fucking roll silverware for 2 hours. Yeah.
Like, it is an exhausting ass place to exist, and to hold onto any form of individuality while being taking somebody's fucking ranch dressing over to them. Is I applaud that beautiful individual, and I hope that they get to murder this person, or at least watch them die.
Ralph, where do you stand on murder in restaurants?
I'm pro murder. I don't know. I'm really confused because, we live in Austin, Texas, and so most of the people who work as servers are wearing wigs and makeup. This is pretty standard for us, and I don't know. I don't really. First of all, I think a male wearing a wig and makeup is a read. I don't think she really got her server's pronouns. I think she probably messed that one up. And I think this is definitely somebody who, at the very least, should be forced to go to a few gay bars and just take some notes. Just write things down and then go have a talk with their children. Because that's the thing that they're scared of. How do I explain this to my children? I guarantee they didn't ask. I guarantee there was no conversation with the
unconcerned.
Kids.
They just want their fucking chicken fingers. Your kids, it's the excuse that people always use for whatever racism, homophobia, whatever they have, is how do we explain this to our kids? It's one sentence. It's a very easy explanation.
Also, kids have no tact, so if they had any questions, they would have launched them right at that server. The 11-year-old would have looked right in her eyes. What is up with your wig? No straight up, they would have been like, "What are you?" Okay,
what's up?
This is a teachable moment. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's just what a boring ass life she'd rather live.
Imagine if I go to whatever, first off, you can just tell by this that this isn't like a nice restaurant, right? Yeah. This is a TGI Fridays or whatever. Which also I don't shit, I'm sure it's fine. I don't want to be classist with my restaurants, but this isn't, they didn't walk into for their 50th wedding anniversary to some fine dining place or whatever.
Yeah.
And
no. And I'm laughing at the part where she's like, what kind of policies are in place for places like this? It's it's probably a place with no policies. They probably don't have a lot of rules.
The manager is for sure fucking the hostess. They don't have policies.
And there's also 9 out of 10 chance that's the best server in the restaurant.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
9 out of 10 chance that's the best server.
At the very least, and here I am, they get to do that. I know that sounds like a shitty thing, but if they sucked at that job, the boss would be like, all right, I'm not putting up with another thing from you. But, and I know which they absolutely should. I don't want to call it a thing, but you know what I'm saying. We've all worked service industry. The manager at the fucking Chili's sucks. Yeah. They're not just going to let you also wear a wig if you also keep fucking up the fucking.
Oh yeah. They'd be like, okay, sorry, not today.
Yeah.
No dazzle for you today, buddy.
Could I request a different server or just leave? You can for sure just leave.
Always just leave.
Always. There is
Go nowhere. Live no life.
Right.
Experience nothing, because that's what you want.
There is no restaurant where it's like suddenly a Bronx Tale and they lock the door when you walk in and they're like, now you can't leave. Like, that doesn't happen. You can just leave.
Yeah.
This Thurston sucks. If we have to give them advice, grow up or stay the fuck home. Like, people exist in the world and you just have to deal with that.
Oh, I would say just die and stop existing, you dinosaur.
I do think that's helpful for everybody.
After this past year of terrible human beings, I'm just like, you know what? I'm done. Just disappear.
Yeah,
I agree.
100%.
And also, that's advice for us. Like, and by that I mean that makes the world a better place.
Yes.
So by all means, that is good advice.
Yeah. By all means, if you are a shitty person, stop existing.
Yeah, it's for the best. All right, we're gonna jump into our next letter. Dear Abby, I'm the only African American at my job. I work in a small office. I enjoy my job and get along with everyone, including the individual I have issues with. I'll call him Rick. Rick thinks it's comical to always talk to me with what I'll refer to as homeboy slang. When another coworker asked about my plans for the holidays, Rick chimed in and said, y'all know she ain't about to tell y'all her business. Abby, I don't talk like that. I was offended by his statement. Some coworkers laughed while others said they agreed he was being rude. I usually ignore him, but I can't do that any longer. I deal with ignorance all the time, but it's embarrassing at my workplace. How can I put Rick in his place without blowing my top? Signed, Had It in North Bergen, New Jersey. Okay. Here's where I'm concerned, and this is a hot take. I'm not sure this person's black. Hear me out. Who? I don't like that she said homeboy slang.
Look, the first time I heard I'm an African American, I'm like, who is this person? Are they an African American?
Yeah.
Because no one black has said I'm an African American since 1975.
Absolutely. I was very suspicious going into this.
It's like, homeboy slang. You know what it's called. It is
Yeah. For sure.
like, and who's the other black people you're talking to that are not conveying like this? Like, it's like, are you talking to other black people like that too? Like, yeah, I just keep showing up to work. This one dude named Rick just keeps using homeboy slang. Like, bitch, what you talking about?
Yeah. They flash a light in her eyes, like, get out. Trying to make sure. What do you mean?
Homeboy slang.
Yeah. But what we have to do for the sake of the podcast is sort of treat these letters as much as we can as if they really exist.
Yes.
So let's just go ahead and say that this is a black person having this issue with Rick at their job.
And we also have to pretend that the person who's written this letter, that this is the first time she's dealt with a white person like that, which is also impossible to believe. So, like,
every job.
Right.
Have you been around a white dude?
But the thing is that with Wiggas, in general, they are problematic. They are frustrating. They are annoying. However, they are usually the best allies we have in a lot of spaces.
Absolutely.
You can, but and the thing is that more than anything, they can handle being called out. Mm-hmm. They've been called out by black people many times. You don't walk around like that as a white person without one other black person being like, "Shut the fuck up before I kick your ass."
Yeah. You've absolutely accidentally said the N-word while rapping in your black friend's car and been checked for it. Yeah. So let's not pretend. Yeah, for sure.
So for me, it's like he's trying to get close. He's trying to be buddies, and at the same time, it's like that's somebody you can call out. If you can't call that person out, then I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, agreed. I think if you just said, "Hey, man," also, I don't think she speaks in AAVE. Like, if she is black, like, the way I'm reading this letter, she doesn't speak like that. So that is like kind of offensive. I could see being like, sort of not comfortable with the stereotyping there. But also, I agree with you that white Mike is often the fucking closest you're gonna have to a fucking ally in this space. So you just sit him aside and be like, "Hey, man, you gotta chill." It's a real easy call out. I think
it's one of those things where it's like, he can talk normal. He can talk the way he's supposed to talk. Like the fact that we can talk, we code switch all the time. This fool doesn't 100%. Seem to comprehend that you're not playing that game.
I got that job by code switching, whatever job that is. So like, let's not. Now I'm going to ask what I think is an okay question. I'm pretty confident it is. Check me if it's not. Do gay people deal with the same thing? Do you have to deal with, oh, hey, girl, shit from straight people trying to co-op when they talk to you the way this white guy is talking to this black person? Is that question making sense? Am I not be explaining myself right?
Yeah, well, it makes sense, but here's the thing: is that it's language. It's language that's available to the masses. So
right,
and yeah, it's one thing. End of the day, if you're not calling me a faggot or a nigger, I'm not going to be.
Well, I can get through this. Yeah.
I can probably endure it, and I can also like, and it's like it's like somebody wanting to appreciate your culture and be a part of your lifestyle, and like when there are like certain parts of gay language that exist, but it's also black language essentially too, and it's very root of it. So like I can't, like, I'm not going to be out here just like, you're enjoying something. And if you're annoying, I'll call you out for being annoying. And I believe that 90% of the time, they will be the most understanding people.
Word. I respect that. Ralphie, what do you think?
I do have a question about Rick's sexuality. If Rick is gay, then he might be trying to identify on a slightly different level. Than
interesting. Yeah. I get
that.
you.
It's not completely invalid there, but I mean, I completely trust the text. I hear what she's saying, and what I would tell her is to start touching Rick's hair without asking, and do a really stereotypical white voice a la 90s stand-up comedians.
Yeah. Just Marlon Wayans real quick. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised that Rick has a sense of humor. Like, I feel like he would be able to be. He's looking forward to being talked shit about. He wakes up in the morning to be talked shit about.
You know what? I was coming into this letter way hot at Rick, and I think you guys have given some empathy to this man and have really calmed me down, because I was coming in way like, fuck this dude. But no, I think Rick might be okay. I think my issue here, I think where I was coming in so mad was because I think I read Rick wrong initially. Yeah. And I think I read this as like kind of patronizing Rick, and sort of like if this is a manager, then I don't like it. You know what I mean? Because there's a hierarchy involved. But if this is just a straight coworker, this might be just a dude looking for a friend. I got to work on my empathy.
I think the cultural problem here is that Rick does watch Drag Race and she doesn't.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Also, what if this is just the South? Mm-hmm. Rick might just talk like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's also...
And that's true.
There is a very close similarity. Like, the line she used, y'all know she ain't about to tell y'all her business, is a very just white Southern thing to say as well. So, there's more questions going on.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, like, he didn't say anything incorrectly.
Yeah. He's also right. That's also very true.
Like, in all honesty, if a white person said that about me being asked a question, I'd be like, that is 100% true.
I refer to his answer.
That is the correct thing to say. Y'all really shouldn't try to be up in my business.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead. We've got some more letters to get through. We can try this one. Okay, let's give this one a shot. Dear Abby, I have fallen in love with Chris, an amazingly, quote unquote, an amazingly thoughtful, supportive, caring man. We've been dating for 7 months. We have many values and interests in common, such as religion, social justice, and the great outdoors. However, Chris is visually impaired. Chris can't drive and has trouble reading regular type or street signs. My parents, whose opinion I respect, are against the relationship because of Chris' genetic disability and his race. Should I continue this relationship? I know real love is a rare gift. That reaction is the whole reason I read this letter. I know real love is a rare gift, yet I worry that I may be setting myself up for problems in the future. I'm afraid I may end up resenting Chris for what he can't do, and my parents for not accepting him. I would greatly appreciate some advice. Should love be blind? Signed, Indecisive in San Francisco.
Was that the first mention of race?
First and only. Drop that in real quick and kept it pushing.
Like, what can't he do? Be white. That's what he can't do. He can't be white.
100%. What can he do? Drive safely. That's all he can. Oh, that is, yeah, I read that and I laughed so hard.
My God.
Fuck.
Man, Miss San Francisco, you've clearly got a bigger, and also here's why I don't like the writer of this letter. My parents, whose opinion I respect, well, then I don't like you either.
Yeah, that's the problem right there.
Their racist ass opinions, right?
First of all, if somebody's losing their vision, I would be thrilled to be their partner. Why? Because I can let myself go.
There you go. Yeah.
You can be ugly forever because the last thing they'll remember is what you looked like when you were good looking.
That's right.
Yeah, they keep that memory. Just don't make sure they don't have honest friends, and you're gonna be just fine.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, for sure. You could throw out them dumbbells. You don't got to spend money on lotion. Just be crusty.
Like this is the most golden ass opportunity, and you're gonna let your racist ass parents ruin it for you. Wow.
Yeah. My suspicion is the parents don't really give a shit, and this person just wants to break up with him and is making it about that.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Interesting. You think maybe the parents are less racist than we think?
No. I mean, maybe they are, but like, if that just came out of nowhere, then I don't know. It sounds like maybe there's actually a problem in the relationship, and she's making it about his visual impairment, which sounds insane to me.
I mean, I'm going to come in with a real uncomfortable take.
Oh, great.
It's not going to be great, but I'm going to do it. That is, if you go like, I even hate saying it. That is a hard thing to second half of a relationship stumble yourself into. Does that make any sense? The idea that I was in a relationship with a sighted person, and now our lives are going to change relatively drastically. I would assume that is me being a piece of shit, 100%. But like, now I'm with a blind person. I didn't necessarily sign up for all of that entails. Now, if you're a good human being, I think you get past the initial shock that I just stated, and you decide if you actually love this person or not, and you make fucking accommodations in your life. But I think having a slight hiccup moment of, what do I like? I think it's a something that you should give legitimate thought to. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of upset people in my comments, and I deserve those upset comments because I know that wasn't great. But does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, I think there has to be some empathy for someone who, like, for having a moment of doubt. I think that's a reasonable thing to put thought into.
That's certainly reasonable, but I mean, disability is something that we are all going to be dealing with during our lives.
And I told you I can't move my neck.
Exactly.
Like, that's
two of us wear glasses in this conversation. The disability is going to happen in our lives. And you just, I mean, I guess if you can't deal with it right now, then yes, you shouldn't be in the relationship. But it's also like the most normal thing in the world, and you can get through this. Mm-hmm. That's why. But also, we're still kind of not talking about the very terrifying, like, moment where she said "and his race."
No, that is, I mean, let's be real. That is 100% the thing. I almost feel like she puts so little emphasis on that I kind of am concerned that she brought this dude home to piss off her parents, and they weren't as pissed as she thought they would be. You know what I'm saying?
It's tough to say because they can also, her parents can be like, this is the thing that we have a problem with, is his vision.
Yeah.
But also, end of the day, you're a grown-ass person. Mm-hmm. If your parents are making these decisions, if their doubts are their doubts, your doubts are your doubts. If their doubts become yours, they're yours. That's it. They're your doubts now. It doesn't have nothing to do with, like, whatever issues they have, and you decide that they matter, then they are now, you've decided that that's who you are as a person. Like, I think a lot of people try to blame things on their parents, and I'm like, end of the day, I did the thing. So therefore, I'm the person that has the problem. So if your parents have an issue with this race, and that means now you have that issue because you added into this letter.
Yeah, 100%. And like the idea that she's like, I would resent him for my parents not accepting him. You should resent your parents.
You should resent your parents. End of the day, you should be more upset with your parents for doing that. So, if you're not, then that means that's clearly what you believe. And so therefore, you have to accept, like, stop projecting blame onto your parents. That's really the thing here. Is like like the letter should have been like, this is how I feel.
Well, one thing you'll know if you read all these letters, people like to put themselves in the best possible light. Yeah. So they're not going to write in and say like, hey, I started dating a black guy and now I'm not so sure I should have done that. Like, that's not going to be the letter people write here. I think we've given her the best advice we can. If I want to give her bad advice, I think you just stick around for the parking spot. You're going to get benefits. Like you said, you don't have to keep yourself together.
Look, I say get crusty, live a good life. You're missing out.
Yeah, get a dog. You're good.
Yeah.
All right. We can move on to another letter. Oh, I like this one. I think is fucking real dumb. Dear Abby, I despise wearing rings, which is a problem because I plan to become engaged. I'm okay with a plain wedding band, but baubles on appendages interfere with useful work and creativity, and they turn me off. I have an expensive heirloom ring that I would gladly give to my lady if she'd keep it in the safe deposit box where it belongs. I don't want to insure it, deal with it if she loses it, or know I caused her to be injured if a thug tries to steal it. If I give it to her, she'll want to wear it. She doesn't need an ornament to prove that she's loved. What can I use in lieu of an engagement ring? I'd rather give her an annuity or something useful. The thought of a $10,000 ring on a hand that belongs to a productive and intelligent working woman suggests self-indulgent exhibitionism. I know I'm fighting an uphill battle, but my feelings are valid to me. I feel the same when I see rings in the workplace and socially. Why not just duct tape a $1,000 bill to your forehead if you want to call attention to yourself? Any ideas? Signed, Practical in Denver. What do you think about this? Ben Shapiro asked, dude.
Oh, first of all, he should thank God he's got somebody who's willing to marry him one day.
Well, hear me out. I'm not sure he does.
I'm
reading this letter. I think this is a prospective woman. Like, you know what I mean? I think this is a lady that he's imagining. I'm not sure that this lady exists.
Well, I also think this heirloom ring is imaginary.
Yeah. I don't. That feels like a real. Oh no, I got a real nice one. You just can't see it. You got to keep it in a box because it's.
I'm like, I'm afraid of thugs. Like, how many ring stealing thugs are you aware of?
Yeah. What do you think? Yeah, what do you think?
This is ridiculous. There are a million solutions. They sell silicone rings that cost like $20. You can wear those and put this in that safety deposit box that you know are so hard to put it in. It's a really bizarre thing to even. I do think straight people have a problem with wedding rings. I think I've heard the statement that a wedding ring should cost a year's salary. That's something that I've heard in the world. But I lived in Alabama for 2 years. People were
so I mean that's a different
exactly
number.
But like I do think that there is a heterosexual problem around engagement jewelry, and I think that's the thing that this person is probably like railing against. Is he's saying like but then like
I mean, to be real, he does say a $10,000 ring. The thought of a $10,000 ring on a hand, like. Am I like that? Seems like too much, honestly. Unless you're like, what are you, a rapper? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Look, it's look, if somebody's gonna propose to me and the ring is less than $10K, they can kiss my ass.
Understood, Solomon. Again, we've decided there's a lot of shit you can get away with other people.
Yeah.
Can't
Look, I'm just saying that if I was in this situation and a ring was told that I'm not gonna wear one, I'm gonna for sure burn down the house and collect the insurance.
I like that Solomon's coming in with real aggressive solutions to most of these problems. Murder that lady in the restaurant.
Yeah,
Fucking left eye this house real fast.
Look, you ain't gonna respect me in the rings that I want. we're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
I want people to be fooled by the rocks that I got.
It does seem like a wild thing to say. I have this crazy ring, but you have to keep it in a safety deposit box. Just sell it. Like I don't even understand what you're doing with it at that point. If it's, you know what I mean?
Like
Amen.
It's just you should just, if you are worried about if you hate rings, why keep a ring? That's the crazy part. Is like, even if it's an heirloom, who are you going to pass it down to? Somebody you don't want to wear it? Just sell it.
Yeah. And you can tell by the way this guy writes. It's like really. I'm trying to use too many big words. You know what I mean? Like the way this guy writes this letter is very much it's just a white dude on TikTok that wants to debate people. You know what I mean? He just has that energy.
See, this is why they should never pass down jewelry. I don't understand that at all. Why do white people do that? I'm dying with every piece of jewelry I own. And I'm getting cremated, so they know they're not going to get it.
Yeah, I like the idea. Like, you got to bury me with this, but also like I need a dye pack on it in my coffin. So if you take it off,
exactly. And also, I want you to empty out my bank account in hundreds, stack them up around me, and burn me with my money.
Yeah.
I love it.
Nothing is getting passed down. I am the dead end of my family's legacy.
Yeah. Were you on Conan, bitch? I don't think you were.
I did that shit. Money. Earn your own damn shit.
Ralph, you got married during quarantine. What's your ring situation? Do you have one?
There are no rings in this house. We actually we started looking at like the silicone rings for $25.
Yeah.
And like pretty much every website that we looked at that sold them for my fat fingers also sold like Blue Lives Matter rings. So we didn't want to buy anything from those websites.
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, and so in the ceremony, I married my husband using an enamel pin of Millhouse.
Oh, see,
you need something that matters to y'all. That's beautiful. I got engaged I got proposed to and engaged during the fucking quarantine. My ring, you can see it. It is, you might be able, it's hard to see this camera, is, I think $13 on Amazon. It was cheap enough that she was able to buy like 3 or 4 of them in various sizes to eventually find the right one. You know what I'm saying? So if you want one that's like Andre the Giant size, there's an extra one laying around our house.
See,
right now.
You guys got married for love, and I don't want none of that. I want zero involvement in that whatsoever. That sounds like a lifelong commitment to somebody that you truly appreciate, and that's not what I'm here to do.
Respect. I like that you know what you want. That's a beautiful thing.
I want someone to enter and leave a marriage with me unhappy both ways. There's never. There's gonna be. They're not gonna feel good getting into the marriage. They're not gonna be happy when they leave. I'm just here to.
All right, let's jump into another letter here. Dear Abby, my problem is unusual, but I'm hoping if you address it in your column, it will help. I'm a married man, confident in who I am, who wears skirts for comfort. I feel skirts are more comfortable than pants, which I find tight, restrictive, and uncomfortable. I wear skirts around the house, when I'm out running errands, and when I attend church. My clergyman has raised no objection to it. After much research, my wife and I have concluded that the only thing against men wearing skirts is social pressure, and then only in certain countries, America being one of them. Pants are a relatively new style of clothing. For thousands of years of recorded history, men and women both wore skirts. Women fought for and won the right to wear pants, shorts, whatever they wanted, which is great. I believe men should have the same option. My wife supports me in this. Our problem is some family members who disagree have talked behind our backs, started rumors, and turned people against us with false information. How can I make them understand that they are entitled to their belief, but they shouldn't gossip and create problems for us because I'm not doing anything wrong? Signed, Joe in Pennsylvania. Well, here's my question, and it is a minor one, but is this a utilikilt? Do you remember when you saw white people wearing those fucking things? Yeah. Because if that's it, then I'm kind of with your family. Like, you look like an asshole. But otherwise, if you're just wearing a skirt, man, do you?
Yeah, no, I feel like there's just I'm very excited about this new wave of heterosexual men wearing skirts. That I think is amazing and beautiful. However, I think they need to get better skirts. And it's like
for sure.
Look,
every time I see like an Ed Sheeran in a dress or whatever, I'm like, you got money. Why is that? You know what I'm saying? That's your dress.
Why are you wearing an ill-fitting dress? Is really my issue here. Like, it just you can get
like
something
cute.
Little
House on the prairie. You're rich. Stop doing that.
Like, look good is all I'm asking. Wear all the women's clothing, but wear the good ones.
A reasonable request.
But at the end of the day,
no, go ahead.
Oh yeah, for me, it's like honestly, who gives it? Like, you wear your dress, and if they have a problem with it, walk around with a sock with filled nickels and just.
Yes, violence again. I like this. I like where you fall back on. And also, that's a real old school weapon. I don't like hold up a sock full of nickels. You got passed down from your granddad.
I got lots of nickels.
Ralph, what do you think? Are we okay? This is going to be I know this is all right. Are we sure that this is just a heterosexual man who likes to wear skirts? And by that I mean, is he slowly sort of figuring out some things about himself? It could very easily be a heterosexual man wearing a skirt. I'm not saying it's not a thing, but also like you're in Pennsylvania. Like you are making a real choice in Pennsylvania to be the one dude in your town that wears a skirt. So this is clearly very important to you. You know what I'm saying?
I would say it sounds like he's done some research because he's correct about pants being very new historically. And so if he has done an amount of research, I have no idea how much, then he's probably aware of androgyny and non-binary identities. And so I mean, it sounds like he is comfortable just being a man in a skirt. Sure. But it sounds like to me the thing he's uncomfortable with is his family talking about him behind his back. Yeah. Which, like, you just have to get over that and cut those people out of your life. Those are the Absolutely. I mean, and like that's a gay blessing that like anybody in my family who has a problem with any part of me, it was just like, well, fuck you. Goodbye.
Your food almost certainly sucked anyway. I just don't have to see you at Thanksgiving anymore.
Yeah. None of my favorite people in my family are the ones that don't like me. Like, it's never. Right, yeah. No homophobic person in my family is like, that's the person that I miss the most.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just like, no, it's just like, fuck them. Like, let the haters hate.
It's always.
And also, it's a beautiful weapon to have. People not liking you.
Right. It gives you power. Let them talk. Let them stay miserable. And also burn the bridge before you leave. Make sure that you scorch the earth. Actually give them something to be mad about. And then, the next time they see you, they can stay mad.
Just
they can be
hit
mad
that
forever.
step, do a twirl in your skirt, give them the middle finger, twirl back around, and walk out the damn door.
That's right.
Yeah. I years and years ago, I worked for a summer as a temp for the post office at like a big distribution center, so like a big not a local warehouse, not a local one, like a giant warehouse essentially of mail. And there was a dude that worked there who wore a dress every day, and he wore a button that said Jesus wore a dress. And he was best friends with the dude who worked there who wore the tiniest cutoff denim shorts you've ever seen. And to the point where it was like, look, do you, but I can see part of your balls. Like there was always some ball hanging out from the shorts, and we're working around equipment. It felt like a safety issue at that point.
But you saw his balls.
I saw his balls on multiple occasions, and he would have to tuck back in because his shorts were so short. And he was old. He was like probably in his 60s or 70s. Yeah. Or maybe I would say probably 60s. Very gray, old, but like sinewy old. You know what I mean? So like a nut would sneak out the side of his shorts quite often.
I fully support loose nuts.
Yes. I'm into this. I fucking love this.
I honestly think we spend too much of our days not seeing each other's testicles, and maybe we just need to see.
You couldn't wear necklaces. There was a lot of like moving equipment around. It felt dangerous. I wasn't super concerned about the nuts, except for I was concerned for his nuts. It felt like they were gonna get caught.
I feel he's had enough experience with those nuts that
he's been around. That's true.
Yeah. those nuts have seen some things. They've probably endured some things.
Yeah.
And I
did enjoy. I brought them up just because I also grew up in a very rural area. Like I'm assuming this Joe in Pennsylvania did, and there is something beautiful when the two, and I don't want to call them weirdos, but in this environment, the two interesting, unique people find each other. You know what I'm saying? People find their family everywhere. And I always thought it was beautiful that they didn't like me, but I was young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was annoying, I'm sure.
And he was flashing his nuts at you.
Yeah, kind of at everybody, to be sure.
Yeah.
But I always felt like that's a beautiful thing. And I think maybe my point to bring that up is maybe Joe, he found his wife. Maybe he needs to find, go to the art. You know what I'm saying? Go to the art scene. Find your people is my point.
Well, he also you have a partner that is supportive,
your wife who's supportive
and loves you. I'm sure he has friends that are supportive and love them. So I just it's really, at the end of the day, your chosen family should be, if they're on your side, then that's all that matters. Fuck
yeah.
The family that you were given sometimes just doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I think that's a concept that cis straight people really don't, they never learned, they didn't have to. So that's why I'd like to give him permission to tell those family members to fuck off.
Yeah.
That's the path, really.
Also, it's the best feeling in the world to tell someone you've known your whole life that they're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's always the sock full of nickels if you need
to. No, do that first, then call them a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, violence first. I never meant, it wasn't a secondary option.
All right, I think we got time for one or two more. Dear Abby, I am a licensed psychologist and the director of a small counseling center at a liberal arts college. Part of my duties include answering emergency calls from students who are in crisis. A local co-ed apparently has been regularly giving out my cell phone number to young men she meets in bars whom she does not want to reject on the spot. Abby, you wouldn't believe the calls and text messages I receive at all hours of the day and night. I hear a lot in my line of work, yet some of these calls have made me blush. Not only is this an inconvenience for me, but it would create a difficult situation for someone in a real crisis who can't get through to me because my phone is tied up with these phone calls and text messages. Ladies, young and old alike, please be honest. If you're not interested in the man, say so. You don't have to annihilate him. Just say that you enjoyed meeting him, but the spark isn't there, and wish him luck in his dating future. Please do not give him someone else's number. That's a coward's way out, and is extremely unbecoming. And at the very least, you are creating an inconvenience for someone else. I know. Signed, Phone Call Fielder in Pennsylvania. Yeah, we all are looking at each other with the same fuck this dude face. So I'm curious as to why. So we can all agree this guy sucks, right?
Oh, there's no chance that he was not a piece of shit. That's why his number's being handed out.
Yeah. So the person who wrote this is a man?
I can only assume.
Okay.
I'm just from the reading. I don't know that he super genders himself, but I can't imagine that last paragraph of please be honest. Well,
yeah,
that
like
is all.
a woman,
like a dude who has gotten a lot of fake phone numbers.
A woman would know that wasn't the case.
Exactly. That was I was under the misunderstanding that she was a woman at the beginning of the letter, and when she said, "Please just be honest with these men," and I was like, I know a handful of women who've turned a man down and then been assaulted.
It's like it's also if I'm now going to tell the women friends in my life that you can do that for me because I will happily get free phone calls of men I can reject. Send it to me. Straight men that I can harass. Oh yeah, I'm breaking up with them for you. I'm gonna call them ugly for you. Whatever you need, Amen. I will take in those calls and texts and definitely send them gay porn as well.
Right, I was just about to say dick pics.
I want you to make sure they send you a photo of themselves so that I can accurately roast them. I
will get their dick pic. Oh yes,
yeah. It doesn't seem hard. Also, men are fucking terrible. If we get rid of just the dude, who also sucks, who wrote this letter, he says here, I hear a lot in my line of work. He gets these phone calls and text messages all hours of the day and night. I hear a lot in my line of work that some of these calls made me flush. So these dudes, oh, I got your number, and then just are immediately oh, here's my dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's just no couth. This, like, because you got to assume this dude gets a phone call and is like, either doesn't respond or says like, "Hey, wrong number," and then they go that. So that's their first thing.
Yeah,
man, men are fucking terrible.
Right.
But yeah,
I mean, he gets these texts that are awful from these young men, and then his problem that he's addressing is to the woman giving the number out. That's insane. So yes, exactly what Solomon said. You know that the person who wrote this letter is hated by all of the women that he works with.
Oh yeah, that number was given out on purpose. This isn't a random like, oh, I gave him 8675309. You gave this for this dude's number.
Yeah, your number's given away because you suck so much that the women around you were like, you know what? He needs to deal with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It also feels like there's maybe a business opportunity here, fellas. We start a business, we set up a phone line, and then, we will, if you give out that number, we will fucking ruin a dude's night for you.
Yeah, and it's also
a service people
pay for.
Because there was a rejection hotline when I was growing up in Seattle that women could give, that a guy could call, and it's just literally a voice message saying that they were rejected. And I think that's definitely something that should come back. I'm happy to start that business up.
It's a great idea.
For the love of the game, honestly.
Yeah. Hey, man, I do it for free.
I'm going to do it for free. He's not going to make money. Yeah. Yeah, if we can just ruin a few frat dudes' night, man, I'll take a shift.
It sounds like a great job at that point.
Yeah. Also, I feel like we can just record the messages as a podcast. There's a lot of options here. Yeah, for sure. Let's wrap up with one more. This is a silly one, but it makes me laugh. Dear Abby, we have a neighbor who decorates his yard for Halloween in the worst ways imaginable. Every year it becomes more macabre. He has bodies hanging from tree limbs, gravestones with RIP on dirt mounds, and other unbelievable atrocities. He thinks it's funny. It is despicable, and it scares the children who must walk past his yard. When we ask him not to put up such deplorable items in our neighborhood, he doesn't take it seriously. I'm thinking about taking up a collection and bribing him not to put his growing vulgar display up this year. What can we do? Signed, Spooked in Topeka. So on a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of Michael Rappaport to Ben Shapiro, how white is the person writing this?
Yeah, they're in Topeka. They're extremely white. Yeah.
This is milk toast white. This is, but also I no one fun ever writes a letter.
No one is ever like, man, people keep bothering me because of my cool Halloween decorations. We never got the other side of it.
Write a letter.
Anyone who's put pen to paper has never had a good time once in their life.
Also, look, bodies hanging from tree limbs. Okay, I obviously it's Halloween, grow up. But the one that makes me laugh that's so horrible is gravestones with RIP on dirt mounds and other unbelievable atrocities. So your kid can't go past just a cemetery ever?
Right.
Like, that's a thing that just exists in this world.
Yeah.
Look, all I say is fuck your kids. I don't give a shit. Your neighbor sounds fun. They sound like they're down for a good time. They are down to clown, and you are missing out on the best drugs in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh,
also,
you know what? The fun Halloween party. Go ahead, Rob.
You know what kids love? Scary stuff. They love Halloween. They love this shit.
Yes. The kids' holiday.
Yes.
Certain.
Yeah. I do think he probably needs a little bit of education. You should not be putting bodies hanging from trees. That is something that this white neighbor also should not have in his Halloween decorations.
Sure.
Just saying. But other than that, I think like decorate all you want, make it super scary. I guarantee the kids don't care, or they're parroting their mom's response and just showing like, we hate him, and they don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
also, I think she says we're going to take up a collection and bribe him. Please do, because if I'm this person, I take your money and just buy more decorations, right?
Yeah,
like,
I would do the same. I would this person's for sure smarter than them and will happily play along. And But also the bodies hanging from trees, are they white bodies? Because that's the question I have. Then in that case, have fun in Topeka.
Yeah. There is the Topeka part of that is like, oh, I don't know. I want to know whose names are on these headstones too. That's what makes me uncomfortable.
I want what's going on over in Topeka? He might be like is like. That might be the thing. Is like they're racist, but I don't give a shit about that. It's just too scary.
Yeah. 100%. No, there's also like Confederate flags the rest of the year. Totally fine.
Yeah, I have no problem with that whatsoever. It's the scary stuff.
Well, that seems like a good place to wrap it up. Guy Solomon, where can people find you on the internet? What do you guys coming up? Anything you want to plug?
I'm Solomon Georgio across the board on everything because I'm the only one that's alive. For the moment. And yeah, just watch the next season of Shrill on Hulu that I wrote for. It's the final season. And I'm very happy and proud of it. So please watch it.
Should be. It's awesome. Ralphie, what's going on with you? We just did Master Pancake the other night. That was super fun.
Yeah, twitch.tv/Master Pancake Theater and twitch.tv/Ralphie Hardesty. And I'm Ralphie Hardesty on all social media.
Do all of that. I am at Chris Cubis on all social media. Please tell your friends. Give us a little 5-star review. It helps us a lot. If you're in Austin, Texas, and you need a free meal, redbeansaustin.com. We give free red beans and rice every Sunday. Sign up for that. We'll bring a meal to your house, and we'll be back next week with more bad advice.